3, Kaya.
We are revising. We're going back to what we started with at the start of the term. Now, you want to get a detention on YouTube for the whole world to see. Is that really what you want? Now, we were looking at the concept of Mishnah, of Gemara. The first thing we need to understand is how they fit in. Now, we looked at solid examples of this, but the idea is we have the Torah. The Torah is the how many books of Moses? You are off your detention, right? And they are called excellent, right? Bereshit, Shemot, Vayikra, B'midbar Devarim, or in English, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. I'm the star of this thing. It's my video. It's my YouTube channel. Now, the Torah, as we know, we saw examples of this. You need to focus. We saw examples of how the Torah sometimes tells us things that aren't completely clear. It's 5 very, very short books, and it's meant to be a guide to everything we are going to do in life. It leaves a lot of details out. So, we have the oral law. Moses comes down from Mount Sinai with not only the written law, but also the oral law, oral explanations of everything. And he teaches those oral explanations to the people, and they carry on teaching it until around the year 170 of the Common Era, or so. At which time, the oral law is in danger of fading out. People are starting to forget. People are finding it really difficult to have that ongoing relationship. So what do the rabbis decide they need to do? Wrong. Everyone says that. The rabbis do not write down the oral law because the oral law is impossible to write down. What they do is they write down a little bit of the oral law. Just about enough writing to keep the message alive, but not enough writing to totally replace the oral dimension thereof. Okay? And what they call this first body of writing is the Mishnah. Mishnah literally means what? Repetition. And what they do is they collect. Thin ice, yo. They collect thousands and thousands of little statements of law, of little short, terse, cryptic explanations of the oral law, and they put them into sections. So they end up with thousands and thousands of little paragraphs, and what they do is they divide them all into 6 sections. You've got one section called seeds. That's all of the Mishnahs, or Mishnayot, that deal with agriculture and agricultural law. Then you have times, all of the things that deal with times of the year, the festivals. You have women, all of the things dealing with how to get married, how to get divorced. You have damages. That's the section we happen to be learning now. What happens if your stuff damages my stuff? If you hurt me? If I think you owe me money, I'm so... Right, you're in serious trouble now. Right? Yes, you ruining YouTube. Right? We have holiness, which deals about certain elements of purity and sacrifices, and we have purity, which deals about ritual purity, a lot of which does not apply today. In each of these sections, there are about 10 books. In each book, there are about 10 or 11 chapters. In each chapter, there are about 15 or so Mishnayot. We have learned one Mishnah. So that is one part of one chapter of one book of one section of the Mishnah. You got that? So the Mishnah in general is in 6 sections. So if you want to look something up in the Mishnah and you know it's got to do with festivals, you know at least which section to start with. You want to look something up in the Mishnah and you know it's got to do with financial law, you know at least this section to start with. So you have the Mishnah. It does not replace the oral law. Learning the Mishnah still requires a relationship with a teacher. It will raise more questions than it answers. When you learn the Mishnah, it will leave you with questions. It's supposed to leave you with questions. The Mishnah is designed to encourage or open up discussion. It's meant to get you talking, get you thinking, get you looking a little bit below the surface. Now, there's a technique to discussing the Mishnah and analysing it and decoding it. About 300 years after the compilation of the Mishnah, the rabbis at that time, Ravina and Rav Ashi in Babylon, decide to record a whole load of the conversations. This oral law, these conversations and discussions and debates about the Mishnah and about the Torah are going on all the time. They decide to start writing down these discussions, to start recording them, so that in future generations we'll see how to look at a Mishnah, how to really take it apart, how to analyze it, how to make a point, how to prove a point, how to disprove someone else's point, how to come to an understanding of truth. So they write down notes on those discussions. That is the Gemara. So when you read the Gemara, you'll see it's a discussion, and it's not just a discussion you read, it's a discussion you become part of. You take part in that discussion. Now, further on, what happens is the Gemara is then used to write down other books, which we're not going to get into right now. You've got it on your sheet, you've got it on your page, but for the exam, all you need to understand is this: how the Torah leads to the creation of the Mishnah, and how the Mishnah leads to the compilation of the Gemara. And then we are looking at one little piece of Gemara as an example. When the Gemara writes, it always starts with quoting the Mishnah verbatim and then analysing it. Where we are now, we've done the Mishnah, we're going to go over it, do it again, and then we'll do the Gemara, the discussion on that Mishnah.